and thank you, Secretary, for being here with us today. You know, I am in South Texas on the border of Mexico and of South Texas. The Biden open border policy has affected many communities, and specifically our ranchers and our farmers who have suffered property damage, loss of crops, loss of livestock, as well as the mental anguish of finding abandoned children, dead bodies on their farmland. That being said, like my colleague across the aisle, Congresswoman Slotkin said, looking through this in a national security lens is important. That being said, I'd like her and my colleagues across the aisle to look at border security through the lens of, as my colleague said, facts versus politics. Let me give you some facts, and my colleagues. Some of these facts include a 1,221% increase in Chinese nationals crossing through just the RGV sector. Just one sector, where they're paying the cartels up to $50,000, from $30,000 to $50,000 each person. We are under great stress, and our farmers and ranchers, through their experience of, again, property damage, loss of crops, loss of livestock, as well as the dead bodies that they find on their ranch lands. Now, Mr. Secretary, us Texans, we're resilient, and we look tough times in the face and we take them head on. With that being said, sometimes we do have to ask for help. And there is one thing that we do need help on, and that is the fever tick issue happening in South Texas. You see, the fever ticks pose a great threat to our agricultural economy of Texas and our domestic beef industry as a whole. These ticks carry cattle fever, which attacks and destroys animals' red blood cells, causing high fevers and enlarged spleen and liver. That being said, in the unlikely chance that these parasites get out of control or out of the quarantine zone, which we have several quarantine zones in South Texas, we're looking at herds being devastated and livelihood loss. Can you ensure us that the necessary resources are put toward keeping the quarantine zone from growing and even commit to shrinking it?
We're continuing to work on this issue, Congresswoman. I appreciate you bringing it up. I know that we've invested resources and will continue to do that because we understand the challenge. And I would also say, just as a parenthetical to your comment about the damage that farmers have experienced, we have provided EQIP resources to assist them in repairing of fencing and things of that nature. You might want to be aware of that.
And I will make you aware of that the farmers and ranchers have said while there is that system, they have had great difficulty in actually accessing the money. And we hear that time and time again. And Mr. Secretary, I invite you to my district so you can hear from the farmers and ranchers and what difficulty they've had. In fact, we have so much difficulty that in Brooks County, one of the districts or one of the counties in my district, they've actually had to build a morgue just to hold the amount of dead bodies that they have found on ranch lands. It's completely unacceptable. And again, I invite you so that you can hear it from our farmers and ranchers in South Texas. With that, I yield back.